go right here. So we are live. Welcome to another episode of the Taylor House Publishing YouTube show. If you are new to the channel, please let me know where you are coming from. And also, in the door, like, share the video. If you have not subscribed, please do so. And let me share this to a couple of other platforms. You see the caption or the title to the video. Tonight, I have a very special guest who reached out to me and, wanted to talk about the subject that we are talking about tonight. And that is, on the basis of appreciate y'all. How y'all doing coming in? I thank y'all. So that is on the basis of the relationship between and I'm gonna let my brother Emilio Villa, because we're gonna talk about Chicano. I'm gonna say Chicanos because I said a word earlier that didn't represent who he who he likes to identify as. So, but we are talking about some of the situations. I think my brother reached out to me as far as trying to bring so-called blacks, I would say, and so-called Chicanos together. And I see somebody already in the chat saying that it's no relationship, that girl Kyla. So we gotta, I guess we gotta yeah, I guess we gotta talk about it, because my brother he reached out to me, and I'm gonna be honest, because I guess a lot of Chicanos are under pressure right now with the ICE thing, and with what they're calling illegal immigrants and aliens. And as I told him, I had to be honest. I said, look, I can't worry about the brush fryer in your backyard when my whole house been on fire for hundreds of years. And so and I think that's what a lot of people see. I have to be honest with my brother from LA. He mentioned something about what's going on with the the ICE raids and things like that. He was like, well, this has been going on in the black community for years. SWAT teams coming up in people's houses, the crack era, those things like that. So a lot of people are not privy to how this relates. But according to my brother Emilio, and I'm gonna give you the floor, Dr. Martin Luther King and a revolutionary community activist called Cesar Chavez were comrades in the struggle for freedom. And they had realized that our struggle and the Chicano struggle is one and the same. So with that, I am going to give the floor to our community activist Emiliano Villa, and to introduce himself and talk about some of the things that you want to talk about.
So the reason I called you, brother, and I got to tell you that I've been trying to reach out to a lot of black, let's say, pundits, right? Because we have to have the conversation between black and brown. We hear a lot about it. We hear a lot, oh man, if black and brown people got together, it would be a whole different story. Well, Martin Luther King and Cesar Chavez had a small conversation. They never met and sat down. But they did brush shoulders, and they passed by each other at a conference once. And Martin Luther King did tell Cesar Chavez that our struggles are one and the same, that our struggles are parallel. And you just said it, brother. What we're going through now, black people had to go through, back when. And there's so much truth to the saying, those who forget their history are damned to repeat it. What we're seeing today is the Fugitive Slave Act in reverse. Instead of them going and hunting down black men and bringing them back, they're hunting down brown men and sending them away. But again, when I say black men and black brown men, I'm talking about the brown and black cultures. So those histories that have been written in the black book We're starting to see them happening to brown people. The unfortunate fact is that it's always been happening to brown people. The fact is that we don't get the coverage. We don't get the media coverage that black people do. Why? Because we are considered white. If you can imagine that mind game, right? Is white people try to say that brown people, that Hispanics, Latinos, are white, and they call us Caucasian. On my birth certificate, it says Caucasian. If you can imagine, as brown as I am, long hair, riding horses and shooting arrows and puro Chicano, and they call me white. They call me Caucasian. The reason they do that is for numbers. Is because when they say, white men are getting killed as much as black men, that's a fallacy. They're using brown numbers to prop up those white numbers. So there's a lot of things that we have to talk about that they're not allowing us to say on media. So I appreciate you, brother, for giving us a voice, because to tell you the truth, nobody's allowing us a word. Nobody's allowing us a voice. They don't want to hear what we got to say. They all think we're Mexicans. Me and you had that conversation. We're not Mexicans. We're generational.
Okay, so let's start right there, because a lot of people are already in the chat saying that the same thing you're saying, but they're saying it in a different way. They say a lot of, and I've heard a lot of, and I once again, you don't like the word Hispanic, so I'm gonna say a lot of Chicanos, and you got to break down the difference anyway, because people are still saying Hispanic. We don't know. So, but basically, they're saying a lot of Chicanos classify themselves as white willingly as well. So I don't know if that's a phenomenon, but I've heard that before too. Like they'll willingly check that white box because they know, hey, it gets them in certain places. So speak to that. Is that a phenomenon? And also, what is the difference between Chicano, Hispanic, Latina, all of those things that we have been, told, every year it's almost like us, they call us Negro, colored, African-American, Afro, foundational Black American. So, and as I told you before, you can call me anything, just don't hang me from a tree. I don't care what you call me.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So that's my, I'm not getting all bent out of shape if you call me Negro, African American, whatever. Honestly, I want to say I don't know. Now, hold on. This is my daughter. Hold on.
Go ahead. Brother.
Hello.
Can you come help me get the groceries, please?
I'm doing a live, sweetheart.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll just get them in the rain by myself.
Oh, you can just leave them out there till I'm finished.
I got same show, brother.
All right, love you.
Okay, I love you too.
All right. So speak on to that. What is the difference between those names, and why is, I guess, Hispanic, Latino, and Mexican? I know, because I know people from Mexico. They say they're Mexican, but you can't call a El Salvadorian a Mexican. You can't call a Chilean an El Salvadorian. You can't call an Ecuadorian a Peruvian. So, but to us, once again, I have no distinction of. Everybody looks like they're from quote unquote Latin America. So what's the difference?
So vernacular, right? It's what the white man wants us to call ourselves. And you've had the same struggle. This is what they were talking about when they said our struggles are parallel. The white man wanted to call you slaves first. Then they wanted to call you the N-word. Then they wanted to call you suckers. Then they wanted to call you Negroes. Then colored people. Instead of asking you, what do you want to be called? They gave you what they wanted to call you. And so this is what they're doing to us today. And I got to tell you, brother, the reason they wanted you to call yourself Negro is because they knew that a whole bunch of you were not going to do it. So what does that do? It creates division, because now some of us want to get along and call ourselves what we should be calling ourselves, and the other ones want to pave their way, and they want to call themselves what they deem themselves. They want self-identification, self-recognition. And that's one thing that white America does, is it takes your history away. It takes your story away. And then it revises that story and then tells you who you are. And if you don't listen to who they tell you who you are, you're going to get strung up. Now, what people don't understand is that as many black people were getting lynched in the South, brown people were getting lynched in the West. Okay. You have to understand that when you guys were fighting the KKK, we were fighting the Texas Rangers and the cavalry because they were trying to take our land. They would come up on a Mexican ranch. Jose, they said you stole the rifle and you're going to have to pay for it. And they would hang the whole family and Billy, come over here. This is your ranch. We've heard the story thousands of times, but that was our story, brother. So in the 60s, when the identification came and we wanted to scream out and be, we called ourselves Chicano. And that name comes from the word Mexica. Now, Mexica was the empire that existed pre-Columbian. White people like to say, we don't know anything pre-Columbian, it's post-Columbian. In other words, what they're saying is they don't know what happened in this country, or it was uncivilized and there was nobody here before Columbus came. So pre-Columbian, there's no time frame. They're not going to tell you that history. They're not going to say anything other than post-Columbian. When Columbus came and founded this country and found America, this country was found already, brother. So they revised that history, right? And next thing you know, we're immigrants. We're the illegal immigrants. Not the white people from Europe are the illegal aliens. It's the Mexicans that are indigenous to this country.
All right, so we getting off. I just asked to explain the difference between Chicana, Latina, Hispanic. You kind of like people in the chat. You see, they say you kind of babbling. You know what I mean? But, I understand. I everything that you said, I already knew. You know what I'm saying? I know about the conquistadors. I know about the history of America. So you don't have to run that back to me. I'm just asking, what's the difference between Chican? Because I know people. I can call somebody right now who say they're Latina. I can call somebody right now who say they're Hispanic. So what's the difference?
Again, so what you're telling me is that you know what Europeans have taught you, because you're not telling me Mexican history. I know you don't know it. I know you don't know one thing about Chicano history, right? Do you know who Moctezuma was? Do you know who where I live, Joaquin Murrieta? Do you know who Joaquin Murrieta is? Do you know who Pio Pico is? Okay, so just like you have Nat Turner, just like you had Frederick Douglass, and I know that history, you're not going to tell me about Joaquin Murrieta. You're not going to.
I'm not trying to. I just asked one simple question, my brother. Here we go again with the.
You're saying
I just asked a simple question. I didn't ask to go through, Montezuma and all of those guys. I just asked, what is the difference between Chicano, Hispanic, Latina? I said I can call somebody right now, and some people will say they're Hispanic. I can call somebody right now on the phone and say they're Latina, and I can call somebody right now who say they're Mexican. That's all That's all I wanted to ask you. Instead of getting berated about, who knows whose history the best, because I know some things. Listen to me, because I know some things about my history that you don't know. Because you can mention Nat Turner, and that everybody knows those guys, but I know a lot about my history, so I'm not going to say or try to say who knows whose history worse. I just asked one simple question that you have, not given me the answer to yet. So,
well, and you have to understand, brother, the Latinos that you're talking to don't know their history. The Hispanics that you're talking to don't know who they are. But let me tell you who they are, right? So again, back in 1519, when the Spaniards came and conquered Aztlan, they called Aztlan, or they called Mexica, they called it Hispania, or New Spain. And Cortez with Malinche, that was the first Hispanic born of Spain. Okay, so when somebody calls themselves Hispanic, they want the belly rub. That's a Mexican that wants the belly rub from the Spanish white people, the colonizer, right? And you guys have to understand, Richard, that you got the same kind of black people in. You guys call them Uncle Toms, right? Well, we call them Malinche in our cultures, right? So we have that dynamic too. Don't think that you're the only one that's, hey, we got to be good to our massa. Brown people do the same malarkey, right? So that's what a Hispanic is. A Hispanic is somebody that knows that they're not Spanish. They got a big nopal on their forehead, as we say. They're brown like me, but because they like to taste that white, love, and they need that pat on the head, and they need that step up because they know they can't get anywhere without white people, they're going to call themselves whatever white people are going to call them, right? If you want me to call myself Hispanic, I'm going to call myself Hispanic. Just give me my money. If you want me to call yourself...
So a question is mestizo. What is mestizo?
Again,
you know,
yeah. So when
somebody says mestizo, it what most claim to be who are not as dark as Negroes. Is that true?
So mestizo was Hispanic. That's the same thing. It's the same concept. Some people, Mexicans, people that are Mexican centric, right? This is what I'm trying to tell you is that Chicanos and Mexicans are not the same thing. Mexicans got a different story. They're going to tell you something different than what Americans are going to tell you. And that's what I am as a Chicano, right? But Mexicans have a different history. They think differently. But understand, so when, again, when Cortez had a baby with Malinche, a mestizo was born. That's called mixed blood. It's called Hispanic, right? So that's who the Hispanics are. Just understand, if a brown person calls himself Hispanic, they're self-hatred. They don't like who they are. They want to rewrite their own history. They don't want to call themselves who they are. We're Mexicano. We come from Mexica. So that's our name. That's who we are.
So Mexicana. So are you saying everyone who is originally from this land or the land before it was conquered, or South America, everybody below there who identify as, once again, I'm gonna name some names: Chilean, Ecuador, all those man-made borders, all of those are Chicanos, basically.
So and again, I really appreciate you allowing us this story, right? So if you can imagine, Mexica was the land that we ruled from New York all the way down to Panama. If you're on American soil, this was Mexica at one point, right? So it was a broad thing. But you have to understand, brother, we conquered all the tribes, just like the Union conquered all of America. We conquered all of Mesoamerica.
Just like the tribes. What do you mean by the tribes?
So just like Shaka Zulu conquered the Zulu, he created the Zulu nation, right? The way he did that is he went from tribe to tribe and he conquered every one of them. Same thing that the Aztecs did. They went to every island because Mexico was not one piece of land; it was a bunch of islands. And when we came from the north, which is Utah, and they told us to go until you see a cactus with a eagle with a snake on it, right? That's going to be your land. That's Mexico. But we came from Utah to that adventure, right? And then that's when we came to Mexico and we asked
what year was this?
Oh, this is 00, brother. This is the beginning of time.
00.
This is where when white people say, well, we don't go back that far. Well, of course you don't, because you don't know our history. You go back to the 1500s in Spain. You can tell me what happened with the Spanish conquest, or not the Spanish conquest, the Spanish Inquisition. You could tell me that history, but you're not going to tell me pre-Columbian history here. That's not going to happen.
Pre-Columbian history. So what about the Olmecs? Do you know anything about the Olmecs?
So when the Aztecs came down, when our tribe came down from Utah, we came to an island and we asked the Toltecs and the Olmecs and all those guys, can we be part of your tribe? And they said, no, you guys are trash. We're above you. But you got to understand the Toltecs and the Olmecs, that by that time, they already had mapped the stars. They already had done arithmetic. They already had conquered everything that Europe was still living in caves at that point. So the Olmecs and the Toltecs, they were preceding us. They taught us. They were our teachers. So when we came, we asked them, can we lay with you? No, you can't, because we're gods, That's how they thought of themselves. So another 100 years passed, and at that point we started conquering tribes just like Shaka Zulu did, and then we created Mexica. Now understand, Guatemala, Ecuador, all these states became part of Mexica because we conquered them. So
y'all basically saying y'all conquered because a lot of those tribes that you said, those were very dark jet black people, the Azteca, the Olmecs. So are you saying you conquered the dark skinned people who were here?
We were the dark skinned people. You have to the range of color in Mexico. The first tribe Cortez went to either conquer or tell them to help us, which they helped them. were brown, sandy brown, and green-eyed. He says they were whiter than him. Okay, you could read this up. This is in history
You
books.
said they were whiter than him?
They were whiter than him. So our spectrum of color goes from white, Venezuelan, Venezuelan, all the way down to the Olmec, dark black, who would carry, carving tools and the gold Mayan calendar.
So who was our? Because you said you went down to the Olmecs, and then you said So are y'all the same people as the Olmecs? You just said you came down from the Olmecs to try to lay with them, but then you said our spectrum goes from white all the way to the Olmec. So I'm kind of confused when you say that. You know what I mean? Because
the way I understand it, brother, and when I talk to European people, I will use European tribes, like the European tribes that migrated through Europe. But for you, I could use the Hutu and the Tutsi and how you recognize with them, right? You look at Shaka Zulu and the tribes that he conquered, they didn't love him after that. They waited for him to fall. As a matter of fact, when the Europeans came, all they had to do was offer a bead and say, hey, how can we overtake Shaka? Oh, death balls, let's go to the back. You got to understand what white people have done to indigenous people throughout history. They've used us to fight ourselves. But it happened in Africa just like it happened in Europe. It happened in Europe just like, if you go back to the history of Europe, they did the same stuff that they did to us way back then, brother. They've been killing each other when we were, living in Africa and America. When we were not, we would have battles and we would have fights and we would get in arguments, but it was nothing compared to what Europeans were doing to each other. They were annihilating each other en masse. And then when they found out that
I got a lot of questions coming in, and it's hard for me to, kind of get all of these questions. So if y'all want to call in and ask my brother the questions that, you're saying, please feel free to call in 919-587-7782. This is an interactive show. A lot of people, like I said, there's a lot of disputes, in the comments. So one comic said that's where black people come in at. They was here before them. They were Mexican, ain't nothing but mixed people. There he's talking nonsense. Mexico was a slave colony. Now that's just one. And you can address these as I kind of, he said they came from Siberia. It's insane. All were Confederate against the true chosen. Ask him who he believes we truly are. A lot of people, say black people in America are the chosen tribe of Israel. Said somebody said you're playing racial 3-card Monty. Siberian invaders. There's plenty of black people in Central America, in Southern America. I said, why did white people say they saw black people here? My family are Algonquin, of the Algonquin tribes. I've heard of that, my sister. Mexicans didn't come nowhere near New York. So all of these information, once again, I like most people, only thing we have to go off of is what, someone told us or what's in the book. Somebody said, where are all these books to prove all that you're saying? I know a book that says, they came before Columbus, and it was talking about, the Africans who were here way before Columbus. So I don't know, man. Like I said, there's a lot of questions, about, what you're saying. All Spanish people are mixed. All Mexicans are mixed. Why the comparison to we're not immigrants. We are native to this land.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I mean, that's what that's what they said. We are. So, and what this have to do with us, as like I said, a lot of people are, just concerned with the things that affect them. So yeah, but there's a lot of questions to what like I said, what you're saying. Once again, I can't dispute, what you're saying. I'm not going to say that I did all the history, all the way from, the Olmecs and the Aztecs, and I've done some research, but and once again, I got those books from that knowledge from books that are written by white people. So there we go. So
you're just what I was going to say, brother, is everything
yeah.
that those said, they learned it from white literature. And it's quite amazing that black people are going to use white history to argue the point when they know what white people have done to your history. But they're going to turn around and they're going to use that same revisionist history to try to tell brown people who they are and where they came from. The Siberian passage has been just debunked, a decade or more ago? So we all know that we didn't come from Siberia. That's another white revisionist history trope, right? That would be like saying that you guys came from China, because there's a landmass that connects. White people do everything they can to revise history, and you guys know it. So for brother to come in and say, "Oh, Mexico is this and that," and this is funny, Richard, because you guys should know some of this history, and this is why I'm here, right? This is why we're talking, is because for people to sit here and say that Mexico was a slave state, when Mexico took in free, we abolished.
Here we go. Here's probably a caller. How you doing? You live on the air. Peace and blessings.
What it do? Salute 22 Ronnie.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just moved to North Carolina probably about 6 months ago from LA. I watched your commentary. And then as I watch your commentary, I realized that I'm in the same area. There's crazy shit going on.
All right, so you live on the air, my brother. Are you watching the show presently, or?
Yeah, I'm in the chat. I was asking about the toll text.
Okay, go ahead. Ask my brother some questions if you have any.
All right. My bad. I was gonna ask him. Only time I seen black and brown unity was in the LA riots in 1992. But after that, I did have a few conversations with different people and things like that, and I want to ask him why. I think it's important that we able to talk about each other's history, but I want to ask him why does he think it's important
to talk about each other's history?
Yeah.
Well, anything that has
to know the history.
Yeah, brother. Anything that has to do with American history, I think we should have a good understanding of it. Because if you don't know where you came from, you sure as hell don't know where you're going to go. So you have to understand who you are in order to understand where you're going. So for me, in order for me to understand America, I need to understand the Atlantic slave trade. I need to know where those slaves came from. I need to know who brought them and why, how, right? Do you know all these answers? Do you know about the Atlantic slave trade? Do you know about Portugal? Do you know about European history enough to explain the migration of blacks to America? How about religion?
How they did it is important for you too.
Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about, brother, is the Toltecs, the Olmecs. This is our history, and this is what we need to talk about. And I appreciate you being concerned about that because it applies, brother. The Toltecs and the Olmecs, you have to understand, we're pretty much the same thing in different periods of time, right? So you have your Ming dynasty, you have your Qing dynasty, you have your Qin dynasty who created China, right? Okay, they're all the same people, but they're different dynasties. That's all that is. The Toltec and the Olmec were just old Mexicans.
All right, is that all you have, my brother?
Well, they had pyramids as well and all these things, and it was from the tip of South America all the way through the United States. So, do you have any kind of proof or there was a connection between Africa and South America before the slave trade?
Well, see, so, and this is the problem that we have, right? We use visual to try to say that, oh, they look the same, so they must be the same. Not understanding the concept of construction, right? You have to construct with foundations that are going to stand the test of time. What is that? That's stone, because they didn't have steel back then, brother. So if you think that the Olmecs were going to create some steel structure when there was none, while the Egyptians were creating pyramids out of stone, it's ridiculous, right? But for you to think just because there were pyramids, and again, our places were not pyramids. They were not pyramids. They didn't go up like a pyramid. They were not three-sided. Okay, we had palaces. They were square, but there were pyramid-like shapes. But again, brother, it's construction. It had nothing to do with, hey, they're building pyramids over there. Should we build? No. In order to have a foundation or to have a building, you had to have a wide foundation on the bottom to carry the whole structure on top. So it was construction, brother. It wasn't that the Egyptians were here building shit. That's not true, right? So we have to understand the difference between European revisionist history and why why would they want to rewrite the history of black men? Why would they want to do that when they brought them over here? And then we can go and we can almost timeline 1619, right? It was before that, but 1619 is the day that they want to pick when they brought us over. Well, that's not true. Okay. Now we're saying that black people were here in America before brown people were. That's ridiculous in its face, because what you're going to use to make that happen is white agent. White.
Hold on real quick. We got another caller, my brother. Thank you for calling. Let me take this call, my brother.
Right on, salute.
All right. Peace and blessings. You live on the air.
Hi. I want to ask, what is this DNA?
So what is your DNA?
Again, sister, stop using European science to decipher who you are, what your history is. You have to understand DNA doesn't work unless they fill it in. Did you know that? DNA is not pure. It doesn't come back and say, hey, this guy was, fill it in. They got to fill in the blanks. And guess what they're filling in that blanks with? European DNA. Why? Because they don't want you to think that you guys are autonomous from white Europeans. It's ridiculous.
All right, hold on real quick. Got another caller. What's going on, Mr. Detroit? How you doing?
Shalom.
Peace.
Hey, you knew I was gonna call. I just got home and I seen what y'all was talking about. Yeah, how you doing, brother? Emilio, shalom.
How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Yeah, I was just calling the brother Rich about this not too long ago, saying, talking about the same thing and how we are, from the 12 tribes of Israel. I don't know if you, believe in that or whatever, but, we are, it's all our fight. We all got to come together as one. If you look at the stuff that's going on in Palestine, that's where the 12 tribes come from. You look at all of this stuff is connected. You get what I'm saying? So they oppressing the Palestinians. They kicking the so-called Mexicans out of America. They've been oppressing the black people in America. So they got a bigger plan on what's to come next. And they plan hundreds of years before, you know what I'm saying, they do stuff.
You're right on it, brother.
That's Trump just there to implement what already they didn't have planned.
And you're
okay.
Right on it. So what brother is saying is, because we, as indigenous people, black and brown, right? We don't plan ahead. We don't look 50 years ahead. We don't look 100 years ahead.
Right.
And we have to understand that Europeans, since the 1200s, they're looking 100 years ahead. They're saying this is going to happen in 50, and this is going to happen in 75 years, and then we should be at this point by 100 years. So you have to understand.
And look,
go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off. Where I learned that? I used to take care of this old white guy, Ron. He didn't have no family or nothing. And I used to go over to his house and just talk to him every day, take him breakfast, lunch, because he didn't have nobody. He wasn't able to move around anymore. Mm-hmm. And he was teaching me about the stocks and stuff. Oh. And he had a check. He showed me the check. He was like, look at this, look at this.
It's a live
And
show.
when I looked at the check, it was for $2. It was a $2 dividend. And I'm looking at him like you crazy. And he said, in 10 years, this is going to be X amount of dollars. And then I said, see, black people, we don't think like that. We'll throw the check away. It ain't even worth us going to the bank and cashing it because it's only $2. But he adding up how much this dividend is going to be in 10 years it can save it. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. We have to understand that white people have known banking for a long time, and understand they've also known biological warfare for. So things that we're barely hearing about today, you have to understand that Europeans were practicing back in the 1200s and the 1100s. So we have to catch up, and we're not going to catch up if we keep on fighting one another. But let me answer brother's question.
I don't see nobody fighting though. That's one thing, you know. And Abdul, I'm gonna get with you because that's one thing that we, you know, once again we kind of disagreed on. You was like, well, all the black people and don't like brown people. I don't know any black people who don't like brown people just because they brown people. Like I said, like, you know, if somebody offends me, it doesn't matter if they're brown or yellow or blue. You know, I'm not gonna like you. So I don't think, you know, there's a whole group of black people just not liking brown people. So now just because we don't, you know, like I said, so last week they had the No Kings thing where you go out and you run out in the streets. I'm not going to go put myself in danger, you know, because I have enough fighting all without going out. I'm fighting every day as a black man in America to live, to avoid the police, to avoid this, to make. So I think the fact that, you know, you got people like myself who say, okay, I'm fighting a fight that I can't even already handle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to go out and fight a fight that, you know, I've already been fighting. I'm not going to fight your fight and my fight too. Whereas then people like yourself may say, okay, well, you don't like us because you won't run out here and, you know, fight the fight that I'm having to fight harder now, if that makes sense. So, you know, that's one thing you just said that kind of had to stop you because you know, there's no coalition of black people that just don't like brown people, and not that I've seen. Now maybe you've seen something different.
Well, no, I don't buy into that, brother. You have to understand there's a difference between black rich people, black people that have, and black people that are living the struggle. Okay, there's a huge difference. Now, what America puts forward or what they put on TV, they're going to show you Oprah Winfrey. They're going to show you LeBron. They're going to show you Michael, all the Michaels, right? But they're not going to show you the reality of what it's like in Indiana and Chicago. They don't
have to show me because I know that though. Like, don't just say Indiana and Chicago. You can say Goldsboro, North Carolina. You can like I travel a lot, so every black neighborhood I go to, we see struggle. Like I was just in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I saw struggle, so they don't have to show us that. We know there's struggle,
right? But again, that propaganda. There are black men right now coming out saying there is no racism. If you can imagine that, brother. There are black men.
Those are not black men. Those are puppets. Just like like you said, like the real black people know who they are paid for. You know, those are the once again the rich people who, you know, who don't know racism until it smacks them in the face. Of course, they can ignore it because they're accepted by the white people. So, you know, those are not black men. You know what I'm saying? Those are not the average. Like you can't take that 1% and say, okay, we know the real people know who those are. Hold on real quick. Peace and blessings. You live on the air. Hello? Yes.
Yes. Hi. Good evening. How are you today?
Pretty good.
Good. I just wanted to call in. Actually, I'm watching you guys live. And I know I believe his name is Emiliano. Yes, he was mentioning that, you know, if we go and basically we do DNA, that it comes back with like some type of mixture of maybe white or something. This is what they tell us. And coincidentally, I've been thinking about going to do the 23andMe. So I was wondering, just in his opinion, should we do that? And also, I don't see Black people, as you mentioned to him, turning away from any race, to be totally honest with you. Usually it's Mexicans or Spaniards who tend to think that they are the Caucasian. And I do agree that we all do need to come together, because as we can see what the White House is doing, they're colonizing every single thing. But generally speaking, Black people, we are usually very accepting of most people.
And really, sister, it's just, you have to understand what I was trying to say to brother right now is the people that are in power, right? The Black people in power, they've been given the note. And so we'll segue into this. But in terms of the DNA thing, you have to understand that DNA is a European construct. American history is a European construct. We didn't create none. We're not part of that. So they can do what they want. Just like revisionist history. What did Churchill say? History is written by the victor. It's easy to say when. So what he's saying is that once you win a battle, you can. What white people do is they lie. Revisionist history. One of the things that us Native Americans, well, I'm part Apache, Chiricahua, and one of the things that we used to say is, you play with movies, right? White man speaks with a fork. It wasn't white man speaks with a forked tongue. It's white man speaks with a crooked tongue. And they changed it for Hollywood. Way back since then, since white people were breaking their treaties. So revisionist history is not nothing new to us as it is to you. But what I'm saying is that Black and brown people have more in common than they don't. Our struggle, just like Martin Luther King said, just like Cesar Chavez agreed, it's one and the same. It's almost linear.
Peace. We got another caller. Go ahead, my brother.
Salute Richard Taylor. Salute to the chat. Emilio Villa. I think you're misunderstanding the point. Unless I'm trying to bring it back to the topic. We want to speak about Black and brown unity and equality, but you see, that has always been one-sided to the detriment of the Black community, the Black American community, or the foundational Black American community. And it has been so much so that when Black people, for example, in Los Angeles, were moving into an area in like East LA, they would be murdered. So much so that in the Bay, that they couldn't go down a certain street because they had dolls that signified Black people being lynched. And these people were Mexican. You guys have a term in your culture called Mahra la Raza, purify the race. That is the staple of your country. And not just Mexico, but South America in general. For example, Paraguay, Argentina, they murdered, a genocide, all the Black people in their country. That is not a misunderstanding. That is not something that pertains to character. That has something to do with a lifestyle. And you can speak about Portugal, you can speak about Spain and colonization. We're well aware of those things. But we're talking about in 2025, the only time that you people want to speak about unity is when you need help from Black people, specifically foundational Black Americans who are indigenous to this country and built this country. Before chattel slavery, it was already spoken about that they called us Ethiopians due to the fact that we were Black. And the Olmecs and the Aztecs and the characters that they have on the wall to describe their history, these people are Black. And when you want something from someone, you need to you need to come with a clear solution to the problem. The clear solution to the problem are the people in your community. And you need to go to them and talk to them about their anti-Black racism and how they need to correct it. And you need to do that far before ICE comes to your neighborhood and starts taking you out of the neighborhood because you guys are illegal immigrants and then come here legally. And I'm not trying to espouse stereotypes onto people. I'm just going off of Black people who live around you people. regardless if you're South American or Central American, and the behavior that you bring with you. Now, just because some black men or black women may marry or have kids with, or whatever the relationship may be with individuals, we're talking about the collective, the community. And more importantly, this brown thing is a misnomer because it's already been documented that LULAC, an organization of Mexicans in the United States of America, fought to be white and to be classified as white. And sir, look in the mirror. You are not the color brown. If you bring up the Crayola crayon box, you're not color brown. You're color pale porcelain, sir.
Brother, these are
all right. So let's go. Let's go back to a couple of things. He said the La Raza. What did you call it? The La Raza. Do you know anything about that?
So this guy's a MAGA. He's a Republican, and he's just repeating MAGA mantra. The things that he says, you can almost get a script from Fox News. And this is what I'm trying to. They're just
dismissive, and you're not taking these questions seriously because
spoke for a while. Let me respond.
This day deals with, sir.
Respond to your talking.
Sir. And I'm not going to take that type of. I'm not going to take that type of dismissive and deflective talking.
Wait a minute. All right, listen. So what about? So listen. So listen. So what about the thing about when he said, you know, they killed a lot of people in Paraguay and where else you say?
No, they have a complete.
Now, Richard, I want you to do this so that you can prove this to all your listeners. Right?
My brother, we can't have a conversation if you don't listen though. Like I just asked the question. I had to come back to that one because you said a lot. So we're trying to address the issue as you say them, sir. So you gotta. So is there any truth to those genocides?
So you have to ask this guy, and again, this is why.
No, I'm asking you. I don't want to. I'm asking you. Do you know
brother,
anything about this?
I cannot respond to MAGA talking points.
It's like that's not. I'm asking you a question. Is that a yes or a no? I'm not. We're not getting to all of the political stuff,
brother. That's nonsense. It's like me. It's like me telling you that black people fought in the Confederacy. Do you buy that?
We're trying to have an honest conversation.
But do you buy that black people fought in the Confederacy?
Him and his community are perpetrators of crimes against black Americans in the country that we built. That's the point about this. All of a sudden, when the real white supremacist comes with ICE and takes his people that commit crimes, we're talking about criminals and people that came in here illegally. When you come into another country illegally, that's a federal crime. And this is what we're talking about, sir. You can't have an honest conversation because you're not an honest person. You're inherently dishonest and you're a liar. And we're talking about unity. We can only become unity upon the truth. And real men want the truth. And the truth is, sir, that if you are not coming to the community, I'm talking about yours, and talking about and trying to bring about the solution of anti-black racism and that community, it doesn't discuss. There is no equality. There is no unity. There's not going to be any unity if you're going to be a honest person, and you're not going to come with the solution to the problem.
So you got to get the
anti-black racism that you enforce.
All right, my brother, you made your point, man. You got it. All right, I gotta let you go, my brother. But yeah, thanks for calling. I actually looked up the genocide in Paraguay, so that is true. Like while he's talking, so you can't deny that. So you just kind of. I looked that up myself.
Wait, massacred black people.
I appreciate you, my brother, but I gotta let you go because you controlling the conversation, my brother. Like you gotta let somebody else talk. But I thank you. Go ahead. So, but that is true. I just looked that up. You know what I'm saying? So so listen to me. Yeah, because like once again, I know a lot of Mexican people. I know, like, you know, it's well known that, you know, some of the Chicanos or Mexican, whatever, like if you like they don't want you talking to their women. Like that is like I've had Hispanic or whatever talking to but we're not talking about black people. We're talking about this thing, you know. You know what I mean? So don't deflect like that. Huh?
Any man won't let you talk to his women. Show me one man that says, "Oh yeah, come and talk to my woman." Not even European.
But that doesn't. You know that we're not addressing the issue. That's just like you saying, "Okay, I have cancer." Well, I have cancer too. No, let's this. So why don't you know? once again, that they have this culture of, hold on, peace and blessings. You're live on the air.
Hi, women.
Hey, Rich, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Okay, I'm sitting there watching. You still live, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to tune in. I know you said you have my number in your contacts. I have been sending you some videos, but you seem to be on point. You get every one of them before I realize it. But I did want to comment on what the brother Emilio Villa is saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's still there with you?
Yeah, he's still there. And a lot of people are talking about that Mayoja La Rosa, sir. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are saying that is let me answer this. So Mayoja La Rosa, that's something that people are saying, like that's a lot of people are putting that in the chat. So is that not a true thing, Emiliano, or not?
Never even heard of it.
Okay. All right, but go ahead, Brother John. What you was about to ask the brother?
What I want to ask him is, first of all, do he believe in Scripture?
He said, do you believe in Scripture?
I'm not a Christian no more, but I'll go scripture to scripture with you if that's what you want to do.
Okay, because I'm not a Christian either.
Okay.
I'm not even religious. I'm spiritual, but I do consider myself a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, so my question would be this.
Mm-hmm.
With your background, as far as you know yourself, do you connect yourself to the 12 tribes of Yasharel or Israel?
Brother, for people to believe in white Christianity is amazing to me, right?
But this is not white Christianity. No, that's not white Christianity. This is
so check this out. America,
mm-hmm.
something called King James Version. Now it's not maybe something that you don't go by, Richard. But
I know about that.
Of America reads something called the King James Version, right?
Yeah, definitely.
About the Talmud or the Toltec or the Talmud or the Korah or none of that stuff. Okay, we were brought up on Christian principles based on the King James Version. King James. Do you know who King James was? Yeah,
I do. I'm on you. I'm following you on this though. So I don't. So, but that's why I don't look at it through the King James Version. You know what I'm saying? I look at it through.
Let me tell you the concept of American Christianity, and again, as goes Rome, so goes the world. So as goes America. Well, let me.
Yeah. So you're right though. Let's not get on to it because that's Christianity was a man-made religion. He's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. That's not Christianity.
What we understand about the 12 tribes of Israel, brother, unless you've been to Israel, unless you have family that is in Israel, don't talk to me about Israel.
But the people who are in Israel are not the true Israelites.
Nobody is.
Yeah, nobody's in Israel. So what do you mean if you're not in Israel, don't talk about Israel? Because nobody, the people who were in Israel in the Bible days are not there. Those are white European Germans over there. You know what I'm saying? So
those are
Ashkenazi. Yeah.
Where did you get that information?
Caves.
Where did you get that information?
Go ahead, my brother. He asked you a question. Emilio, what you say, Emilio? I know where did he get this information?
His Israelite information. What book is he reading? What channel is he looking at? Who is teaching him about Israel history?
See, brother Emiliano, I'm not into Christianity, but I do read the Torah.
Torah.
As a matter of fact, the Torah is melanated history. It's not a religious book.
Mm.
Okay.
And tell me, brother, what are you African American? Are you from the continent of Africa?
I'm a so-called African American.
Okay, so
Born
that
in Brooklyn, New York.
oh, beautiful, beautiful. That's even better, right? So what we have to understand, brother, is that in the 1300s, white Europeans crossed the world to covet a religion, which they later wrote in their 10 commandments that thou shalt not covet thy brother's goods nor his wife. The Christianity that we were brought up in, brother, is a contradiction. It's a hypocrisy to the third degree.
I wasn't brought up in Christianity.
But again,
Christianity.
the Christian religion, brother, is a Jewish religion. It's from Israel.
Okay, let me explain something to you then. See, I'm going to tell you where people get things confused, even some Hebrew Israelites. Because even the true name Hebrew is not necessarily the true name either. But what I'm saying to you is, first you got to understand a little bit about Hebrew. And Hebrew also has numbers affiliated with the characters of the cuneiform. Okay? So when you say Jew or Judah or Jesus or Jehovah, you're basically bound down to a deity.
Yahweh.
That's what folks don't understand. See, there are no letter J's in the Hebrew alphabet. So you can't be a Jew.
All right. So look, we getting off topic here. We get into a whole, So where were you going with your question, my brother? Before because I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. What were you getting when you asked my brother that? Go ahead and make your point so we can kind of move on, my brother.
The reason why I asked about Hebrew is because, according to my education and the 12 tribes, the so-called American Indians here, where I hear people talking about, oh, we're not from Africa, we the indigenous Indians, that's nonsense as well. Because if you go into Genesis and understand the table of nations, and then you start to see that the earth was divided between three brothers.
All right, my brother John, we got to speed up. I got some more callers, my brother. What? Go ahead and make your point, my brother.
Okay, so the point is this: coming together is a good thing.
Okay.
But it's going to be very difficult at this point to trust people. What's the purpose of you coming together at this point?
Well,
because
the conversation,
the
conversation, brother, is we should learn the reason we're seeing what we're seeing today and what we're going to see tomorrow, because this is just the beginning. If you guys white people, brown people out of here, you're living in a right.
We living in a what? You kind of going in and out.
A fantasy world. If you think that white people, the way they're doing right now, are going to stop with brown people.
Well, you mean they never stop? But see, that's where we differ, because they've never stopped persecuting us. Like what you're going through, like white people can't do anything more to black people in this country than they've already done. So I don't know what else am I supposed to be scared of.
And so this is the culmination of our conversation right now.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, because
brother, let me explain it to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is
hold on. I gotta let you go, brother John.
And so this is what America does to you.
Hold on real quick. Go ahead, Mr. Villa.
So this is what America does to you, Richard. It makes you revise history. It makes you believe in what you actually want to be. The reality of where black people are today, brother, you're not in the same spot you were 20 years, 30 years ago, 40 years
What spot are we in? We've always been in this. I always say myself, turn your TV down. Like America, Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude, could you turn your TV down, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
So you don't have an echo. Dr. Claude Anderson put it best. At the end of slavery, Black people had less than 0.5% of the wealth in America. Today, 2025, Black people have 0.5% of wealth in America. At the end of slavery, just as many people were enslaved as are in jail today. So I don't know what you're saying. Okay, we aren't where we were. Yeah, we exactly where we were in the beginning. So I don't live in that fantasy. I know that Black people have not made any strides. Just like you said, no matter how many LeBrons, no matter how many Jay-Z's, they had those in slavery. They had the minstrels, they had the house Negroes. So I don't see what you think. I guess I see, because I know we haven't made no progress. Black people are still being lynched, literally. In 2025, a Black, and I've did several stories on this channel. So Black people are still being shot by the police without no judicial stuff going on. So I don't know where you think that we are, that, just because we had some puppets here and there. I know the truth. So what do you mean by, okay, where we're at 20 or 30 years ago? Because in my recollection, in my studies, in my reality, we are the same place we were when they had us on the plantations cracking the whip.
You ready to wake up now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. In 1980, how many Black shows were there on television?
That doesn't mean anything.
Well, just answer the question, Richard.
It doesn't matter. What?
How many shows? How many Black shows?
I don't know. What? Make your point. Make your point. Make your point.
One.
Make your
How many
point.
Black shows are on TV today? Multitudes.
What does that mean, though?
Let me finish, brother. Let me finish. Okay. You're saying that you guys are in the same spot as you were in 1859.
That's entertainment. That's entertainment. They had entertainment on the slave plantations.
There's more than entertainment, brother. You became a president also. Or did you forget about Barack Obama?
That doesn't mean, so you put a Black face on white supremacy. They had Black overseers in slavery. That means nothing. What are you talking about? I gotta let you go, because we don't see things the same. I thought we.
So you don't know that you had a Black president in America.
I didn't say that, but what you put a Black face on
when I start speaking truth to power, you don't want to talk no more. Is that
but Barack Obama was a half white dude who went to school with all white people and who did nothing for Black people.
The one Black man saying that to the multitudes of Black people that are going to say he was a Black man.
No, but listen, he did nothing for Black people.
Okay, so let's not get mad when you start talking truth to power, brother.
Nobody's mad. What are you talking about? Listen, you're saying that under Barack Obama, right, we had a Black president. More Black people got killed by police under Barack Obama than any other president. So what does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm just saying, brother, in 1859, you didn't have a president.
What does that mean, though?
In 1859, you had no politicians at all. So
what does that mean? Even when we have politicians, what does that mean?
Strides, Richard. It means that Black people have made strides in America.
Okay.
The Black
listen to me. Listen to me. What is the most important thing? Economics, right? If Black people have less than 0.5% in 2025 of the wealth in America than they had at the end of slavery, how much strides have we made?
A lot. Now let me ask you this, Richard. And try to be honest. I'm going to give you 3 Black millionaires that I know, right? Oprah Winfrey, LeBron. Well, let's go with 2. Oprah Winfrey, LeBron James, 2 billionaires. Give me one Chicano billionaire that you know.
That doesn't mean nothing.
Just one. Don't give me too many. Just give me one.
I'm talking about the totality of the entire race. I'm talking about the totality.
I can name 5 mainstream anchors.
That doesn't mean anything, though. You're naming entertainment.
See, this is what I'm saying. Just saying that it doesn't mean that. That's what.
That doesn't mean anything to me. How about that? But that doesn't. Okay, All right, that doesn't mean anything
You have James Jameson who talks from MSNBC. Joy Reid on MSNBC.
Right, but I gotta let you
got
go,
a black
man,
lady on Fox News.
Could you listen to me real quick? Could you listen to me? Yeah. That doesn't mean nothing to the tens of billions of children living in the projects with no food to eat today. How does that help them? Just as the same slaves that were on the plantation. How does that help them?
That's a whole different conversation. Now,
it's the same conversation. You're talking about one black millionaire, and I'm talking about. No, listen, I'm talking about an entire race of people who are suffering.
What did we say earlier? What did I tell you earlier? I said there's a handful of black people that are successful. The rest of them are in the same spot, Richard. That's what I told you.
So what are you talking about strides then? Huh? What are you talking about? What kind of strides we as a totality of people? We're not talking about one person.
You want me to break it down again? There's not one.
You don't have to. You're talking about.
There's not one black billionaire in America. There's not one black show in America. There's not one black blockbuster movie.
That doesn't mean nothing. You know, there were minstrels.
It means a lot. When you got LeBron James spending millions of dollars in programs in black communities, it means a lot. When you got Oprah Winfrey spending billions of dollars in black communities, it means a lot. When you got
doesn't spend those things in black communities, sir.
That Chicanos don't run, brother. I don't know where you're at.
Hold on, let me get this caller in.
Go ahead.
Hello,
let me get success right now. A lot of black. I don't see the brown success.
Can you hear me?
Hold on, sir. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead, Liz.
Hi. Can you hear me? I want to answer a couple of things that I know individuals were asking. So, the Olmecs, and this is from the Mormon Bible, which they tell us not to read, but they read it, but they tell us not to read it. But I'm going to tell you what the Olmecs were. All right. So it says scholars and members have proposed of the Church of some Latter-day Saints connection between the Olmecs and the Jaredites, okay, which is a tribe described in the Book of Mormon. The Jaredites, according to the Book of Mormon, the Jaredites were a people who migrated to the Americas after the confounding of languages at the Tower of Babel, which is around 2300 BCE. If you're only going back to 1500s and that's where you're trying to start with your history, you already lost it because you have to go all the way back. That's why you can't explain why their skin, why they are dark people, but you're saying they're all kind of from all the way white, all the way to very dark. No, that's not true. So you, as it says in the Bible, surely that our
Book of Mormon, you say the Bible. You said the Book of Mormon, you didn't say the Bible.
Okay, but we don't argue because truth shuts down all lies, because lies come from Satan, who is the father of Satan. So let me read you one more.
Hey, now, a little bit of Mormonism.
The sealed portion.
Mormonism.
Let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead. But let me. And I'll say
so much. Okay, let me finish. The sealed portion, which is the final testament of Jesus Christ. All right, this isn't a book that is readily available to individuals because they took out a lot of the books and only gave us 6. Now, from this book, this sealed book, The Rise, in chapter 31, it says the rise of the great Roman Empire and the explanation of the great beast by John in Revelation. The Roman Empire is one beast, and the great European Empire and the United States are some of the other beasts described by John. The book of Revelations is expounded on extensively in your seal books. It says, for Satan shall cause to be established a powerful nation among the Gentiles that shall strike fear in all other nations of the world. I wonder who that is, who says they're the most powerful in the world. And with this great nation, Satan shall begin to rule and reign over his own dominion without the restrictions that were placed on him by the Father in the beginning. And this shall be the final opportunity of Satan to show unto the children of God that his plan, which is lies, can bring happiness and joy to those who follow him and give him the glory that he seeketh. And this great nation shall be known as the United States. It says it right here. For they shall be united in their desire to worship Satan and his image, and this because of their works. Unknowingly, they shall be led subtly to believe that Satan is their God and their eternal Father, and they shall support and worship his image
cause all other nations who do not support and worship the image of Satan to be condemned and destroyed. The dark people that you are saying, now hold on, you said Barack Obama's father is known as an African. If you ask any African today, and you ask a person that you so-called gave us the name of Black or African American, which we are not, you can't be both, all right? But our of the 12 tribes, they will tell you from a Black person, we don't even like Black people. Most Africans will tell you that. We don't even, because you're looking at Hamites, so you need to go back to the right tribes. The Egyptians were also, they are not the light-skinned people that you see today. They have, American Great Babylon has changed the names. African was via Hamite. So how did Barack Obama help the so-called African Americans? He's not even one of the so-called African Americans. If his father is really from Africa. So when you say knowing your history, you got to be able to read and document for proof. But that's all I wanted to say. So most of what you said, I see why people were confused, because I was like, this guy, where is he getting his documentation? From the Europeans too? Has to be.
All right. Thank you, sister. Go ahead. Go ahead, Brother Villa.
So what was her name? We'll just call you ma'am, right? Do you know who Joseph Smith was, ma'am?
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, now I already hung up. Just go ahead and make your point.
I'm just saying. So let me tell you what.
Make your point.
Let me tell you what Mormons think of Black people, right? They think that Black people. Did you know that, Richard?
Yeah, I know about. I've done stories on the Mormon faith.
He's coming on here using again white theology to prove her points, and when you do that, you all credibility with me. Any Black person that comes and uses DNA as a talking, or they use the King James.
Yeah, hold on real quick. Hello.
Don't know. It just doesn't hold water with me.
Oh, my bad. It's me again.
Hold on, man. Hold on, man. Hold on, man. I gotta answer this call. You don't. Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hold on, because the TV down. Damn. Yeah, I know. Hey, you live?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, what's going on, Rich? What's going on, Emilio? I just want to say, man, I think it's a beautiful thing, man, that we can come together. I'm from California, right? And we get along great with the Mexicans out here in Oakland, But I think in LA, I heard it's like a little different. But it's always like some bad apples that's gonna try to mess up everything. I mean, like it's gonna be some bad Mexicans and some bad Blacks. Gonna try I'm trying to just make it like positive. You know what I mean? But I got a problem with who got a problem with me. I don't care if you're Mexican, Black, white, whatever. But I don't like no racist Mexicans. I don't like no racist white folks. Whoever racist towards my people, I don't like them. But if you don't have a problem with my people, I don't have a problem with you.
Amen. Amen. Appreciate that.
That's all I gotta say, brother. You guys have a great day.
All right, you too.
And if you can imagine, as good as the Black man is, right? As good as you can tell this man has a good heart. He calls us Mexican. And again, we talked about this earlier. Can you imagine if brown people would call Black people Africans or Haitians? It would be racist. It's racist. But when somebody, and again, this is white, when they refer to us as Mexican, we're not Mexican. I'm generational to this country, the tierra that you're on right now. That's Chicano. Okay, so this is why we're on here, is to teach both Black and white people what a Chicano is. Not a Mexican, not a Latino, not a Hispanic, but what we are, who we really are. It's like me telling you what you are, and you sitting and telling me, well, my name is Richard Taylor, and I'm an African American, or whatever.
Like I told you before, though, I don't care what you call me, long as you ain't put me up in a tree. I don't get into all of that. Like, that's non-consequential to me. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, just like you, right? I haven't done all the research. Some people say we're FBA. Some people say we're Hebrew Israelite. Some people say we're more. And all of them have valid reasons. How am I going to get caught up in all that? What you call me? It's about how you treat me. and how I treat myself. Like I could care less. You can call me an N-word all you want to. Am I going to get mad and huff and puff and scream? No. You know what I'm saying? So if I want to, if that floats your boat to, to worry about what somebody labels you as, then, I'll call you a Chicano, you know what I'm saying? But if I call you a Chicano and come over there and rob and steal from you, does it really matter what I call you? You know what I'm saying? So that's my point. Hey, you're live on the air. Peace and blessings. Go ahead.
Hey, brother, how you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Hey, you had the other brother on the phone talking about he was from Oakland, right? I'm from LA, California, homie. And the Mexicans in California and LA area, they hate us. They got NK on the wall. They don't like us. And it stems from the prison. But it really started in the early 90s when they brought the Mexican mafia into the streets of LA. Then they started greenlighting LA streets in the early 90s, where all the Mexicans started trying to kill all the blacks, trying to take over our communities, right? But I'm going to share something with you. For him to say that, for him not knowing about being La Raza and you Mexican, how you going to say you don't know what La Raza is and you Mexican? That's a culture thing for Mexicans. That's all they say out here. Most Mexicans in LA is considered Southsiders. Up north, those are Nathaniels. They don't get along. They beef hard. But it's funny that all the Mexicans in LA, especially the younger generation, now you get the older essays that's mad because the younger generation is calling themselves niggas, dressing like us, talking like us, trying to rap like us, putting gold in their mouth, haircuts, all that, brother. So to me, I just feel some type of way when it comes to Mexicans, because Mexicans be funny stuff, just like with the lowrider shit. They think they started that, man. They didn't start a lot of shit. Black started this blueprint. We ran LA. We started the blueprint in Los Angeles. It's just now with the border happening and all these Mexicans coming over for years, they've been just taking over. LA is only 8%. California is only 8% black. So do the math. When it used to be in LA, used to be down to 80% black back in the day.
So what do you say to the brother? Now these are his experience. You're laughing at his experiences,
brother.
He's telling you.
This guy is so ignorant about his history. He sounds like he's in 10th grade, right?
Hold on, you said he's ignorant. He's sitting here telling you how we. Wait a minute. Listen. Oh, wait a minute. So you're gonna tell me that this man who lives in LA hasn't experienced Mexicans wanting to not liking him? Is that what you're saying?
He's calling us Mexicans. Haven't we talked about this?
Well, let's say Chicanos.
Okay,
listen. Answer the question, though. Answer the question. Are you going to tell me that this man hasn't experienced Chicanos not liking him, not liking black people?
Well, if it's men like him, I don't think black people like him because the guy just talks out of the
No. See now.
But let me tell you what he.
We can't have the conversation when you fail to acknowledge, I just called you Chicano. This man told you where he lives at and what he's experiencing, and you're gonna just dismiss it. Okay, you know what I'm saying? We can't do it like that, my brother.
Want me to tell you why? Hey, do you know what Black Flight was?
Do you live? Okay, do you live where he lives? Do you live where he lives?
Do you know what Black Flight is?
I'm asking you a question. Do you live where this man lives?
Let me tell you your history, Richard.
I can't let you tell me your history when you're not. I'm talking about reality right now. This man is talking about right now. We're not talking about history. We're not talking about history. This man is talking about right now.
Okay,
in LA.
There were no blacks in LA prior to 1820.
No, we're not talking about 1820. Okay, we're talking about today.
They're all brown people.
Black man.
Black Flight. You guys don't know your history. But let me teach you your history, Richard. When they kicked you out of the South.
I gotta go, man, because we're talking about right now.
You're not gonna let me speak
to man. We gotta let you go, man. Because you failing to address what this man is
saying. Black people like Mississippi and Alabama.
All right, man. We had to let him go, man, because he.
Man, thank you for accepting my call, brother. I'm watching, and I just had to say something on that, man.
All right.
I appreciate you, man.
All right, so I had to quiet you down, man. Are you going to address the fact of today?
You won't let me.
Oh no, I don't need you to go back to history. We're talking about right now today what this man is
Bro,
saying.
he made some claims that are so false it's not funny, and you don't want to let me prove him wrong.
What do you mean? He's living. How can you? So if I tell you, wait a minute. If I tell you somebody stole some money,
brown people.
Listen to me. Listen to me. If I tell you somebody stole some money out of my pocket yesterday, and you're gonna tell me, well, no, let me tell you what happened to you. This man is telling you his experience, and you're gonna tell him he doesn't know his history. We're talking about today when he's saying Mexicans in LA don't like black people.
He said more than that.
No,
he
I'm talking about that. What he said.
Brother, you gotta let me talk. But you gotta let me talk. Can I respond?
You can't address the racism.
Can I respond? Or are you gonna let me respond?
Can you address the racism today?
Not you will let me respond.
Go ahead. Okay. But don't start talking about 1900 though.
Okay,
we're talking about now.
Okay, but you need to admit that black people were never in LA until a certain time, right? So understand that, dude. Don't say that brown people came and moved black people out. You came and moved us out when you came from Mississippi and Alabama and the southern states. Okay, Los Angeles, the city of angels, that was puro Chicano. There were no black and white people.
Okay, so is that the reasons why Mexicans don't like black people in LA? Then
no,
is that it?
He's talking out now. Now you could tell in his vernacular that he probably spent a lot of time behind bars, and that's where he's getting that from. Black and brown people are not allowed to commiserate behind bars, brother. You should know that. Have you ever done time, Richard?
Once again, you still haven't addressed the fact that he's telling you that
again, the reason what he's talking about is he's talking about in prison politics.
No, he's talking about on the streets.
Okay, in the streets, there's none of that shit in LA. We don't go around saying black skin, black. We live next door neighbor in LA. So what he's saying is full of shit. Okay. Go to Compton and look at all the brown people and black people.
Where do you live at? Okay, where do you live at?
I was born and raised in East LA.
No, where do you live at now?
Right now, I live in Riverside County. Okay, but I was born and raised in East LA, and I know that I had black friends. I know how black people and brown people get along, but I know how they don't get along too. So part of what he's saying is right.
Oh, so you're finally admitting that sometimes Hispanics, Chicanos don't like black people. Dude, are you finally admitting that?
Brother, brown people are like black people. We don't even get along with each other sometimes. You know, so let's start speaking truth to power. But when you let some dude like this come up and just blurt out a bunch of shit out of his mouth, saying that
you're being disrespectful to my brother, man. Okay, you know what I mean? You can't minimize his experience, man.
It ain't even that though. It's real shit.
Yeah, we got. Yeah, I don't know. See, and the first time the brother called me, I know y'all asked me why did I have him on. I knew we was gonna get this because he first thing. Hold on, my brother. Hold on. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Taylor. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, this brother Dave.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself there?
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay, I'm trying to see can I get a little help there with someone that to understand that the guy that's on that TV with you at the moment.
Yeah, well, I had to put him off because he just, I don't know what's up with that guy. I think he just called. He wanted to come on and start arguments and not have a genuine conversation because everything he say, like we don't know nothing, he knows everything. So I had to put him off the show for a while. What's going on?
Yeah, I understand that. But the brother, a lot of the people, Mexican, Native American, and so-called African American people, we have the same father. And we all have a same common enemy. And what we have to realize, and we have to understand that enemy is the one that oppresses us. Mm-hmm. We must see that.
And if we was to see that, we would go to the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 68. We was already over here. Some of us. We left King Antiochus. We came over here. Way before Columbus, over 1,000 years. That was the Northern Kingdom, Native American people. We came over here later on in slavery from over there in Africa. We met up with our brothers over here in this land over here. And what people had to realize when you talk about Deuteronomy 28 and 68, you had to go to Deuteronomy the first book, first chapter, first verse. Then you go down to the curses in the 15th, on through the 16th. It'll tell you your blessing and your cursing. So those people that came over here in Exodus 20 and 2, that was us. And once they realize these things, they'll know that we had the same father Jacob that was changed to Israel when he wrestled with the angel.
Isn't it funny?
We had
just white people.
We had 3 different wives, and we all come for those 3 different wives, but we all had the same father. It ain't the mom, it ain't the wife, it's the father, it's the seed.
I've taught you how to do the same shit.
Life. The man is the carrier of life.
To us.
The woman that man laid up with, we still were what he was. And once we have to get that understanding. And we also know one thing, we not black. Ham is not black. We are dark brown people. That man sitting on the TV has a black shirt on. And his skin is way different from that. Your skin is way different from that. People just have to open their eyes out of the foolishness.
So you believe that there's no black people, Richard?
Yeah, we black is a way of identifying. Once again, I'm not going to sit here and say I know who I am, because everything that has been told to me has been told to me by somebody. I've already explained this. You know, some people say we're Israelites, some people say we're Moorish, some people say we're African, some people say we're indigenous. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know it. Unlike you, you know everything. Everything that everybody say, you know much more than everybody else. You know, nobody else knows nothing. Even the guy that's experiencing hatred from Mexicans or Chicanos in LA, he doesn't know what he's talking about. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I know everything that I know. Now I know my skin is not black. Black is a classification. If I say black people, then everybody know who I'm talking about. But if I start saying Israelites or if I start saying Moorish Americans, if I start saying then it gets people all confused. But when I say a black man was shot by the police, everybody knows what brother I'm talking about. So
what brother just said,
I'm not going to get into all of that. You know, all of that. You know.
The identifying marker when you deal with the cover.
Yeah, I know there's not a black skin, or there's not a white skin, or there's not a brown skin. Like your skin is not brown, Emiliano. You know what I'm saying? Your skin is not brown. My skin is more brown than yours. So, you know, we can get into the semantics all we want. You know what I mean?
Oh, you guys are making this a conversation. I wouldn't waste my time talking about this because it's nonsense.
But you know what I'm talking about? Call you Chicano instead of Hispanic or Latina.
Everybody knows what that is. To even play that game is fucking elemental. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, watch your mouth though, man. I haven't cursed not one time. You've been cursing a lot. That's why I'm gonna have to let you off the show again. You know what I'm saying? Because you're cursing and you're being disrespectful now. You know what I'm saying? I haven't cursed you not one time. You've been cursing a lot lately. So, you know, we're gonna have to, you know, kind of remove you again if you continue to use that kind of language. You know what I mean? Because I don't use that language towards you. I've been nothing but respectful. You know what I'm saying, to you. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna say what you want me to say. I'm gonna say what I know and what I know to believe. So when brother says that the Mexicans came and moved us out, I'm gonna push back on that. Because we didn't push you nowhere. You came.
Okay, well, what about Mexicans not liking black people? Can you at least acknowledge that?
The only thing that I gotta say, brother, is the only thing I gotta say, and you gotta let me say it. is that when black people were being chased by white people and crucified and hung and maimed and raped, you went to Mexico. And guess what?
We're talking about now,
Mexico
man.
accepted you.
We're talking about now.
People, and they made you human beings
All
right
right,
when you
man.
walked across the
So
door.
what about what the brother is talking about today, though?
I just told you what Mexicans did for black people.
I'm talking about today.
Today, he's full of shit, brother. I got to tell you, black people.
All right, you cussing again, man. We gotta let you off, man. All right, my brother. Appreciate you. Let me answer this other call. Hello.
Yeah, he got so much dirt in his eyes he can't see, but his mind is cloudy. He is very cloudy minded. He needs to understand Ham is the dark race of people, not the Negroes. So when they call us nigger, I'm happy because I know who I am, and they know who we are already. So when they call us nigger, rejoice in that thing because they know who we are. We the one that don't know. They got us thinking that is a bad name.
Yeah, Negus means kings. I know that. Negus.
That's right.
Yeah, so we we on the same page. We on the same page, man. But I sometimes you can't have a conversation with people. But let me take this call, my brother.
All right, my brother. Take care, man.
All right. Hello.
Salute to you, Richard Taylor. Thanks once again for letting me on the show. Salute to the chat. In regards to the guest that you had, I think he was disingenuous in regards to the topic, and the topic was about black and brown unity and how that can be achieved. And how that can be achieved is through the brown people going to their community and removing anti-black racism from their culture and passing down true equality through basically treating black people how they want to be treated, and not using us, and not exploiting us, and not being culture vultures to our intellectual properties such as hip hop and our clothing and low riding and so forth and so forth. There's so many things. That's the solution to the problem. And this gentleman seemed to only want to deflect from coming to that conclusion. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you. Ooh, peace and blessings. You live on the air. Peace and blessings.
Hey, this is Lee from Pine Bluff. I sent you some. The dude was talking about black people when in California first. I sent you a video to your text message to shut him down.
All right. Well, I might play the. Let me answer this call, Brother Lee.
Okay.
All right. Peace and blessings. I meant peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.
Hey, Richard Taylor. Thank you so much for answering. Your videos are awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, a lot of scary stuff. Yeah, a lot of scary stuff though out there, man. But yeah, I really hate all the white supremacy, and it's really. I've been to jail once, man. I mean, we got to do better.
Definitely.
I've been to jail. Yeah, I mean, it's an awful place, man. Awful. But anyway, just wanted to say thank you for your videos, man. Learned a lot. Talking about it with my friends. Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, man. My brother, appreciate you.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
All right. All right, so man, yeah, so that that conversation, man, it's hard to, I guess, talk to somebody when they won't just admit, a thing. Peace and blessings. You live. I know you've been calling for a while. I ain't been able to answer. What's going on?
Peace and blessings to you, brother. I just wanted to say this to all Black people, to us so-called Black people. We need to stop dealing with these animals, okay? Because it's in Scripture. The Most High Yah said it. All nations should be confederate against us, including this idiot that was just on here, okay? Mexican, whatever the hell you want to call these animals, all nations, so-called Black people. Why are we doing this? They all hate us.
Yeah.
So we need to start supporting our own people. Like, let me just say this one thing and I'm going to get off. Listen, them people over there in Jamaica right now, they get hit with this storm.
Uh-huh. Hold on. Hello? Yeah, hold on. I was trying to download something. Peace and blessings. Hello?
Yes. This, hold on, let me send it back. This, Taylor, Richard Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah, I seen you on TV talking about this story happening in Pablo.
Yeah, but I'm on a live show right now. Are you calling about this live show?
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah, I really was, because it's touching and it's happening too much.
What's happening too much?
This Black folk, they said Black folks hanging themselves.
Well, yeah, we that was a recorded show, my brother. Right now I'm on the live show, so I have to call you back about that subject. We're talking about something else tonight, all right?
Okay.
All right, appreciate you, Carl. I'll call you back. Hello, and the sister, I didn't mean to hang up on you. I was trying to download something. But go ahead.
It's Brother John again.
Yeah, Brother John, go ahead.
Yeah, earlier the reason why I said that in order for us to come together, it's got to be on the trust system. Watching this guy, I don't trust him at all.
Yeah, I gave him a shot, man. He started off on the wrong. I would show y'all some messages, right? Yeah. That matter of fact, we gonna reveal the messages just to let y'all see where he started. But hold on one real quick. Hello, peace and blessings.
Yes, how you doing? This is Joyce Duvall. I'm watching your show. He was talking about the color brown. This man needs to realize that our ancestors was raped back in the day with these, with the white men, and he's talking about the color brown. That's why we come in all different colors. So he need to figure out what he's talking about.
All right, so look, I definitely I'm with you on that. Let me share this information though, sweetheart. But I thank you for calling, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right. Okay. Brother John.
Yes, sir.
All right, so go. You got to make it quick, my brother. What you was trying to say?
Okay, so basically this is quick. This brother here, his whole ideology of coming together, and I said that would be a good thing because we do have a common enemy. But he's coming off as an enemy.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to this guy. He don't want to hear nothing. He don't want to understand anything but his own ideology.
Mm-hmm.
And how you gonna call somebody to get together with this person and you're not sitting down listening to the people you want to come together with? I don't trust them.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, so I gave him a shot, man. The reason I gave him a shot because he was so persistent. And I'm gonna show y'all real quick what I'm talking about. But I appreciate you, Brother John. Let me get off the line real quick. Let me show this.
Okay, I'm watching though.
All right. So let me show y'all these emails and the calls. First of all, he called me from a blocked number. You know what I mean? And that's what kind of turned me off from, right? So he called me from a block number, said he wanted to come on the show. Now, these are the emails, right? Can y'all let me Make sure y'all can see them. Okay. So these are the emails, right? So he said, well, let me see. This is October 6th, October 6th, October 7th, right? He spoke to me, said he want to come on the show about, black and brown people and get together and why don't black people like Hispanics? That's what he first said. And I said, hold on, man. You starting off on the wrong foot. I don't know any black people that don't like Hispanics. Well, I think black people, like, he's telling me who black people are to begin with. And so here's one of the emails. He said, we spoke for a while, but because I was like, okay, who are you? Who are you? And, what's your goal? He said, we spoke for a while, but what exactly do you need to know? I was like, okay, who are you? What type of stuff you on? He said, we had decided to have a conversation on what MLK said to Cesar Chavez in the context of Black and Brown United. I am a Chicano advocate and a community activist in Southern LA region, born and raised. I own a construction company, and I'm writing a book called Chicano Chronicles and the Resurgence of the Confederacy. How about you? Tell me a little about yourself. I was like, man, you can watch my YouTube show. Now here I say, okay, send me a pic. I agree to do the show. Now mind you, this October the 7th. This is about 3 weeks ago. I say, send me a picture of yourself so I can make a thumbnail. And then I say, and what is your phone number? You calling me from a continual block number seems disingenuous, if not suspicious, because he kept calling me from a block number. And if you're wanting to be on my show and my number is on the screen, as you see, I have nothing to hide. So I'm like, why you keep calling me from a block number? I said, that seems suspicious. And this is what he say. I said, will do. Give me a minute. I said, send me a picture. He said, will do. And I was like, what's your number? And then he say, LOL. Save the mistrust and accusations for the show. This is what black and brown people need to see. Plus, it's truthful and we need that. I would like this conversation to be genuine, and your apprehension toward brown people of color is what we need to talk on. Now, he's equating my saying you calling me from a block number is suspicious. I had to break it down. I was like, anybody call me from a block number is suspicious. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, or brown. And see, that's when I was like, all right, man, we can't do this. And I'm going to show you, you're going to see this message right here. He said, I see the need for black and brown unity, but it seems like my black brothers are somewhat apprehensive. There you go again, telling us who we are. And I have no doubt you've ever had a Chicano on your show. Brother, it's hard to have conversations when hate is so prevalent. Once again, he's putting hate on me when I just don't like people calling me from a block number. That's black, brown, Chicano, whatever you want to call yourself. I don't like people wanting to do business with me and calling me from a block number. He said, I don't know what you heard about people of color, but don't allow your fear to run this show. Once again, he's once again saying I'm hateful, I'm fearful, I'm mistrustful, and I have accusations. Now, these are all his emails, and that should have let me know how this show was going, as you see how he did every time we said something in the show. You know what I'm saying? He said, okay, you don't know what you're talking about. Only thing I said to the brother is said, look, man, give me your number, because you calling me from a block number doesn't, seem genuine. Now, he says all of this. He says, I am mistrusting accusation. Hold on, peace and blessings. Hold on, let me finish sharing this information. He said, I mistrusting accusations. It's hard because hate is so prevalent. Don't allow fear to run the show. If you don't want to be a brotherhood, man of conviction, be black and proud and say it out loud. I'm a man enough to take. Now, this is his response to my not wanting him to call me from a block number. Then he gives me the number, but he says I work in the field or not, and I can't hear, so I'll call you back. But like you, I have a number of phone numbers. And so here's what I say to him. And I say, you're starting off on the wrong foot again. And that's the same thing I told him when he first called me about, hey, man, black people don't like, Chicanos or whatever. I'm like, man, you're starting off on the wrong foot. You accusing me of apprehension. When have I shown that? Now, he is going to say, your calling from a continued block number seems disingenuous, if not suspicious. Then he's going to say, LOL, you wrote that. I am neither. But why would you even think disingenuous or suspicious? And I said, that don't have nothing to do with you being Chicano. If I would say that to anyone who calls me from a block number. I say, never mind, man. I see this not going to work. If you don't understand that, peace and blessings, right? And so after I say that, he called me back again and again. I'm going to stop sharing the messages. But this is what I should have known, not even to have the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo, me not wanting you to call from a block number has nothing to do with you being Chicano, me being hateful, me being apprehensive, me being mistrust, and me being fearful. It has everything to do with, if you're doing business with somebody, you should not be afraid to call them without having a block number. So that is what I should have known, how this conversation was eventually going to go, with him saying we're hateful and all of that. So go ahead, my people's on the line. How you doing? Peace and blessings.
Yeah. This is my call here? Am I on?
Yeah, you live, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just going to say that for some reason, I think, now maybe I'm wrong, but I think that black people are the Israelites. That's what it sounded like to me. He wants to make it the guys in Europe or somebody else. Well, really, he said, no, we don't know who it is. We know who it is. It's us, black people. In particular, it's some Hispanics, some Native Americans. But the way I see it, some Native Americans are from Asia, and then there were some that were here before them. And those were the guys, because they have bones to prove that black people were here even before those guys. But he don't want to listen to that. He want to act like, that we are something else. We're Ham. We're not Ham. We are Shem. That's the difference. Two different people that look alike.
Well, only thing I realized, man, in the hindsight, that, everything that somebody said, he disagreed with. If y'all notice, everybody who called and said something, he said that the person doesn't know what they are talking about. So, and any time that, that nobody knows nothing but you, then there's not a conversation to be had. If everything that everybody said on the phone, even the brother from LA said, look, I live in LA now, and Hispanics, Mexicans, whatever he called them, don't like black people. Well, that brother doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, how you gonna tell a man about his own experiences? You know what I'm saying? So after that, I was like, all right, man, this is no conversation to be had. If everything that everybody says wrong, like, hey, yo, I had to blow my nose last night. You didn't blow your nose. That ain't what they was doing in 1962. They didn't have tissue in 19. Mexicans made tissue, and nobody was blowing their nose except me. So after that right there, I was like, man, all right, man, there's no talking to you. So this conversation has to be up to my literally everybody who called and said something, didn't know what they were talking about. And so,
I guarantee he would never admit that he was taught that they are better than us. If somebody was to have asked him that, I bet you he wouldn't admit it, but I guarantee he was. Because they are taught that they are better than us, just like most other races are.
Yeah.
That's why the situation is like it is about black people now, because everybody think they are above us. When really,
The Most High say different. It's in the Bible. Say we are above everybody on the face of the earth. And it's in the Bible. But see, that's partly why he sort of don't like to even agree with the Bible, I believe, because he probably has seen it.
That 12 tribe chart did down. Let me answer this call, my brother. Appreciate you for calling, all right, and being patient.
Yeah, I don't believe in the 12 tribes.
Peace and blessings.
Brother Richard.
Yes.
Hey, peace and blessings. I love your show. I'm always tuning in when I can. I have you subscribe. But you know what? That guy, I was glad when you cut him off tonight.
I gave him too many chances.
You gave him too many chances, bro. You gave him too many chances.
I try to be fair.
You are fair. You're very fair, and you're very patient. I thank God for that. But I have a grandson that's almost be 25 next month, and you know his first Hispanic girlfriend. The daddy didn't even like black, but he allowed my grandson to stay there till he couldn't take him no more, and we had to go pick him up. And I'm trying to understand, well, why you say? Did you just say you didn't like blacks? How do you allow my grandson to be over here? You know, it's things like that. But I think that guy, your guest tonight, is like everybody else right now. They all need us. Everybody need us right now, and we're just like, no, we're shut down. This is y'all fight.
Yeah,
leave us alone. Leave us alone. You know. But yeah, keep up the good, man. I'm gonna continue to support you. I'm gonna continue, sending a donation, whatever I can do to help. But I'm telling you, that guest tonight was the whack. He's the worst I think you ever had.
Thank you so much. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, what you were saying now? Yeah.
Oh, I was saying, let me turn this on. I was saying that I don't believe in the 12 tribe charge.
Yeah, I don't know who put that up. Somebody said, and I heard my brother say that too. One of my Hebrew brothers, he said that 12 tribe charts ain't right. So, but then I had a brother call me and said, well, yeah, have you seen the 12 tribes? And I think my brother called the day. He swear by, the 12 tribe chart. So I don't, I don't, like I said, man, I talk and see, that's why I kind of don't get into all of the historical thing, because I talk to so many people, right, who supposedly believe the same thing, but you know what I mean? They disagree on. No, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I talk to a lot of Hebrew Israelites, and they'll say something, and then I talk to another Hebrew, the next day, they got a whole new ideology. Then I was like, well, my brother last night told me this about it. Well, nah, that ain't right. That ain't right. And I'm like, all right, okay. This.
Find one that can prove the 12 tribe charts.
Ain't talking about. Yeah, ain't even talking about the chart. I'm just talking about just different ideologies in general, though. You know what I mean? Ain't even talking about the chart. Ain't even. I mean, I ain't even, because I've seen the chart before.
The reason for it is because somebody had a dream or something, or some kind of prophecy or something. And I think it was somebody like about 100 years ago or something. They had the prophecy about it. As far as I know, that's how it began. Not just like something in the Bible or something saying it. So to me, it's BS. Plus, it's too many things. Even though people try to say something about DNA, most Mexicans or Hispanics are mostly white. I mean, in real reality, man, look it up. Most of them, their DNA is white. Which mean that they are Jaffy. That's what they mean, basically, man. But, I could be maybe I don't know, but look it up and see what you see.
Yeah, like I said, man, it goes so deep. I'm not even going to try to say that I began to understand all of it. You know what I mean? So I just, once again, I just study. So you include your colonizer in the 12 tribes. Think about it. How are Mexicans and Puerto Ricans represented in the 12 tribes when they didn't even exist when those concepts were originated? Look it up.
And one more thing too. In Mexico right now, it's a bunch of black people living there. They treat it like crap.
Yeah, I know. I hear.
Crap, man.
I hear.
Because they think they're better than them. See, that's the whole thing, man. Mostly all the tribes, when they come down to it, most of us are going to be black. Now, it could be, it could be some that even look white because, passing and all that kind of stuff. And, and just that some of us are, just mixed.
I gotta take this call, my brother. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Peace and blessings. You live on the air. All right, man. So if you're talking, I can't hear you. But okay, man. Yeah. So this is this is it. This is for the night, man. I shouldn't have had did it. I was conflicted all day. And so I went against my better judgment. But I guess it was a learning experience, and we see, what some people feel or how some people feel about, us. Definitely, my brother felt like nobody who owned the conversation or owned the chat knew anything but him. And so that's an example of, stuff right there. Just wanted to come on and just cause confusion. So I apologize to y'all in the chat, but Dr. Claude Anderson, I think Dr. Claude Anderson passed away, or if he didn't, he's he's not in good health. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Next live, we definitely gonna have somebody who's reputable. I'll say that, man. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man, and y'all have a good night. I'm tired after all of that, all of that babble. Like I said, a lot of y'all, he just babbling and babbling and babbling. So, but I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Thank y'all for subscribing to this channel and sending, once again, all of the videos, texts, and information. And if I do not, like I said, respond to you directly, don't, think I didn't see your video or, don't appreciate what you're sending me to. Is just, I get a lot of information on a daily basis, and sometimes it's just overwhelming to be able to, respond individually to each, text or information. But I certainly appreciate y'all, and I thank y'all for, participating tonight, and y'all be blessed. Peace and love.